All right, here we go. Hey, I'm Linda Brennan with Keller Williams in Wellington, Florida, and I am here with a referral partner of ours. I want to introduce you to is Tonya Byrd. She is in Peachtree City, Georgia, which I'm going to learn about along with you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm with the Keller Williams here in Peachtree City, Georgia. I am part of a husband and wife team. So Peachtree City, Georgia is just south of Atlanta area, not too far from the airport. And our claim to fame is over 100 miles of golf cart paths. So you can get from one end of the city to the other via golf cart. You see several people parking their golf carts at the Kroger or at the Target to go shopping, or they'll be going through the drive-through. So that's what our claim to fame is.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we have some golf carts here, but they are not going on the road. So nice. I like it. It sounds kind of laid back.
Oh, definitely laid back. You can, the beauty in it is if you want to jump up to Atlanta to go see a sports game or go have some entertainment, a play or something like that, it's easy to go do, but then everything's kind of more laid back and suburbia kind of vibe.
Nice. Very nice. And you are in real estate, and tell us who you work with and a little bit about that.
Sure. I'm with the Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners office here. Like I said before, I'm part of a husband and wife team. So I always like to say you get two realtors for the price of one. And we have been here since 2015. Moved from Texas to here to get closer to Tennessee, which is where I'm originally from. And we absolutely love the area and the people that we serve. We kind of specialize in that senior group. A lot of people are attracted to this area to retire because of the golf cart paths. And that's kind of like who our clientele is.
Nice, nice. And you are actually taking care of one of my customers who's getting ready to move up there. One of my very first customers from 19 years ago. So I'm super excited. And you know, she just is in great hands. And that's the whole point of this, is to be able to tell our customers that, you know, we have trusted referral partners throughout the United States. And so I'm super grateful for that. Can you tell us a little bit more about your town? Like, what else is there to do besides drive golf carts?
So I guess what else we can do here? We have a amphitheater called the Fred. So over the summer months, there's several people who they have come in. Some of them are tribute bands. Some of them are like retired people who you don't hear much about anymore, but they still are touring at small venues that you can drive your golf cart to and hang out there. Peachtree City is, because of the golf cart pass, very active in walking, biking. Lots of really neat restaurants around here. Across the street here, you can go eat at a French place where the chef is from France. We have some Mediterranean food up the road where the people are from Lebanon. So even though we're kind of down here where we're not so crowded, the north end of Atlanta is way more crowded. You still kind of get some local restaurants to go out to eat that people hang out at. I'm trying to think of what else is fun to do down here. Lots of stuff over in Drakefield. So they'll have night markets where vendors will come in and you can go and shop for wares there. They have dragon boat races this time of year. Just a great place that people can meet as far as like having a nice park to go hang out in. And we have a couple of hiking trails around here as well. And then Peachtree City, because of the golf cart lifestyle, it can be a little bit more pricier than some of the other communities. So sometimes I get people who really just is like, nope, I got to live in Peachtree City. I got to have that golf cart lifestyle. And others are go, oh, let me go to the surrounding areas like Fayetteville, Newnan, Sharpsburg, where I can get a little bit more bang from our buck. So and you know, both areas are great areas to kind of live on the south end of the Atlanta area.
Fantastic. And so you mentioned you specialize in senior transitioning or seniors? Tell me a little bit about that, because that is a specialty.
It is a specialty, and I do believe if you're going to specialize in it, you should go out and get additional education in it. And that's one of the benefits of being with Keller Williams. There is a Keller Williams community called the Real Estate Planner Community. And we learn everything from how to help seniors downsize to, if they own rental properties, how to help them with 1031 exchanges so that they can make sure they're getting the best cap rate on their investment. There is this really cool product that I didn't know about until I joined this community called a Delaware Statutory Trust. If you don't want to be a landlord anymore, you can through 1031 exchange your investment into this trust. They last 3 to 6 years. They'll pay for a return. The trust invests in like a hotel or a warehouse, or they'll invest in some kind of big property so that you still get that return on your money, and not have to have the headache of dealing with toilets and tenants and all those things anymore. We also did additional learning on probate and helping people through the probate process as well. So it's when you kind of look at the whole thing, the whole picture, how do you make sure that your real estate investment wealth is going to go on to the next generation without paying the least amount of taxes. So holding on to that wealth, as well as making sure there's no family arguments. I don't think people realize this, but 70% of families after a loved one dies will fight over the real estate. And you can actually put a plan in place with a trust that dictates what happens to the property before you pass on, so that that lessens the family arguments.
Yeah, that's real important, and not something we think of every day. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And what about the rest? Like, what is real estate like by you? Because we're in Florida, we have condos, single family, and even ranches. So what do you guys got going on?
So primarily single family. There are a few condos and townhomes down here, but that's very, very few. I also gated communities. We don't have a ton of them. I think like when I lived in Houston and did real estate in Houston, you could find gated communities more than you could here. We use so trying to think of how else that we do have ranches here, primarily single family. As you get out on the outskirts, you may find some homes that are on acres because there is no sewer. There's septic. So I think that's a surprise to some people. Like when you're in Peachtree City, everything's on sewer. But if I went 5 minutes down the road over into our next county over, they don't have a sewer system. So the properties have to be on an acre in order to contain the septic system. So some people get overwhelmed by that. We have a lot of trees down here though. So like I live on an acre myself because we're kind of up in Tyrone away from Peachtree City, and there's no sewer there as well. But the majority of my land's trees. So there's not a lot of yard. So sometimes it scares people like, oh my gosh, I don't want the big yard. But if I were to tell you, well, your yard's going to be small because the rest of the property's trees and you don't do anything with the trees, then that's an option. And you can get more bang for your buck. So I would say our average sales price around here for Peachtree City is well past the 400s. But if you get in the outskirts, you can still find houses in the 300,000 range, and have affordable living. I think the cost of living is really good here, and that's what attracts people to this area. And we have 4 seasons too. We hardly see snow. But like today, I got up because this is October and it was 45 degrees this morning.
Oh, it was in the 60s here for a few minutes. No, that's great. Okay, and then what about how are the taxes? Like, state tax. What's
we do have a state tax, and it's based on percentage of income. I think the maximum amount, like if you really make a lot of income, it's around 6%. If you don't, it's lower, obviously. From a senior standpoint, after 62, you get an exemption. And then again, after 65, it starts lowering down the property taxes, because then those people don't have school children. So you're not essentially paying for the school taxes. There are also, if you're a disabled veteran or something of that nature, then there's property taxes you can take for that as well. So I think it's relative. I've lived in 3 states. As far as taxes go, I always thought that living in Tennessee was the cheapest because it didn't have an state income tax, and their property taxes are relatively low. When I moved to Texas, they don't have a state income tax either. Man, were their property taxes high. I kind of feel like Georgia is kind of the middle of the road. We don't, the property taxes aren't as high, but you still have the state income tax. So,
right.
As my husband says, Caesar's going to get his coin, and it's going to be either through through sales taxes or property or state income or a combination.
Right. Okay, and then last, what's the insurance like? Because here in Florida, we gotta have a conversation sometimes.
Well, so that's another fascinating thing that I think is a misconception about where we are in Atlanta. I have several friends who are like, "Oh my gosh, the hurricane's coming your way." Well, we are so far north that if we get any issues from like a hurricane, then it is just going to be wind, and you might have some trees that come down. There's no storm surge. There's nothing that's like so catastrophic like sometimes you see happening in Florida. So people freak out unnecessarily, because again, I lived in Houston where I went through a hurricane, and when people freak out here, I'm like, it's calm down. It's a little wind. So insurance is not bad here. I mean, it is going up like I think it is nationwide, but we don't have people pulling out of Georgia saying they don't want to do business in Georgia anymore. I can still pretty much shop around. We do have some tornadoes that occasionally come through this part of town, but what I like about this is they have tornado sirens. And so you're pretty well aware of, you can hear them go off and know to seek to shelter. Since I've lived here since 2015, I think I've heard them go off maybe 3 or 4 times. And we've had some hit pretty bad in the past couple of years, but it's not anything that like super scary to me, because there's enough warning to get to in a stairwell or in a closet, that sort of thing.
Good. That's good news.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds great. I love, I think I definitely know a lot more about Peachtree City now. And you have, a YouTube channel, don't you? Where you really go deeper on it.
I do have a YouTube channel, and I find it to be very handy, because when people are like, well, I want to know more about Peachtree City, then I can just sit over my playlist and then they can watch the different videos I've done. We've done one where we've had some fun on the golf cart to show kind of like what that is like to go on the golf cart. Done a couple of videos out there of some of the fun things to do in Peachtree City. Reasons why you might not want to move to Peachtree City if you don't like the humidity, or it's buggy around here. We have termites in the summer. So otherwise, if you don't like slower lifestyle, because I think being in the South, if you're not from here, it's a stark difference, and people notice how slower people are here, just of the overall approach to life.
Okay. Curious, do you have iguanas?
No, I don't think. I think it's too cold here for iguanas.
Yeah,
if we have iguanas, they're in a cage in a house.
Okay. I might
and
ship
we
you some.
technically don't have like crocodiles or alligators.
Really?
Although there is one that lives in Peachtree City, but we think he might have been released, as like as a pet. They call him Fred.
So do you have like places you go tubing and kayaking and stuff?
So you can, in Peachtree City, there's 7 little lakes, so you can go kayaking in any one of the lakes. Tubing, I would have to probably go a little north to find a place to go tubing, but it's not an hour's drive to go tubing and have fun. What else? There are, of course, major lakes you can go to. A lot of people, because they don't want to go through the traffic in Atlanta, they'll head over to Alabama to go to one of the major lakes. Like if you want to have actually like a ski boat kind of experience, then you can go to one of the major lakes. We're not too far from Alabama. Alabama's probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half drive, depending on where you're going to get to the border of Alabama.
Nice.
And we're not too far from the mountains. The Appalachian Mountain Range starts in North Georgia. So if you want to go hiking and enjoy the mountains, that's probably about a 2.5-hour drive.
Very nice.
From here to there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. It sounds good to me. No iguanas.
No iguanas.
No.
No, we do have lots of deer here. So you do have to be careful when you're driving at night, like at dusk, or a deer might run out in front of you. Yeah. Some people ask about snakes too. We do have some snakes around here.
I think snakes are everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know anywhere that's snakeless, but we'll find out. We're going to continue.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, so if you just go to YouTube and type in the Byrd group, Byrd spelled BYRD, you will find it.
All right. Excellent.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate your time, and hopefully we can connect you with some more people and keep moving them back and forth.
Yes. Well, thank you for inviting me to do this. I enjoy doing this. Yes.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks.